Hello and welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath. I've got a 4K review for you. This is The Usual Suspects, brand new on 4K and Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. This is a combo pack from Kino Lorber, who is absolutely crushing it with their 4K releases. Some months they're putting out 5 4Ks in a single month. It's a wonderful time to be a fan of movie history. You know, here's the thing. This movie is one of my favorites, and it's actually, it changed the way that I loved movies when it came along, because it's a 1995 film, and it kind of changed the rules for what a movie could do. It's like, oh, we can do this now? It's a mystery, it's a whodunit, it's a crime film, it's a neo-noir, it's a lot of different things. Guys, do me a favor. If you've seen The Usual Suspects, let's not spoil it for the people that haven't, because this really is a movie that you need to discover for yourself. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie, first of all, you do need to see this. This is one of those seminal films for anybody that loves movies. You need to have seen The Usual Suspects. It's that important, and it's that good. But don't read a review. If you want to watch the trailer, fine. I would say don't even watch the trailer. I would say just watch the movie. Just go in as blind as you can and let it carry you like a raft over the rapids and then right down the waterfall. The less you know about this movie, the more you're going to enjoy it, I think. So it's extremely well acted. We've got Stephen Baldwin, Gabriel Byrne, Chaz Palminteri, Kevin Pollak, Pete Postlethwaite, Kevin Spacey. This is the movie that really... So we've got Seven, and we've got The Usual Suspects. LA Confidential's in that mix too, I guess. But this is the movie that I think people will be talking about when they... like Kevin. This is the Kevin Spacey role for history, right? We're not gonna, by the way, we're not gonna get into, like, you know, character, talking about, you know, the things that people have done that are wrong. This is directed by Bryan Singer, who is the guy behind the X-Men movies later, you know, X-Men, X2, Superman Returns. But this is the movie that put him on the map because it's that darn good. And Christopher McQuarrie wrote the screenplay, and the screenplay is airtight. It is an amazing screenplay. Because I was there in the mid-90s, I can tell you this changed the way. Tarantino, Kevin Smith, these are the guys that really changed the conversation about what movies could do in the 90s. This is an independent movie, very low budget, and then it got larger distribution. But the screenplay here, people were talking about that screenplay, and you see the influence of The Usual Suspects in so many other movies. It's become part of our culture now. It's in comedies, and you know, there's a scene where a coffee cup falls and shatters, and then this person realizes something. That's been parodied and satirized so many times. It's just in our culture now. But the movie is as good now as it was back in the day. It might even be better. So watching this again was a real treat for me, and it's a great 4K. Here's the thing. It's not a beautiful movie. You know, when we think about 4K, I'm often, I say, most movies are not going to get a 4K. It's going to be your bigger hits, the pretty movies, the movies that really benefit from a 4K. To me, The Usual Suspects was not a candidate for 4K, which is why I'm so surprised by it. Because listen, it's mostly a lot of nighttime shots. It's a lot of indoors, fluorescent lights. There are scenes that are deliberately blown out so people have like a halo around them. It's not a visually pleasing movie. It's supposed to be unnerving. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be unclear, honestly. There are scenes for the movie that are unclear until you watch it. You know, maybe by the end of the movie, you're like, oh. Sometimes it takes, you know, may take you a couple of times, a couple of watches to really see, to recognize what you're seeing. So for me, I was really surprised that this was getting a 4K, but I went in with the best of expectations, and I'm really happy to say that it looks really good on 4K. But remember, it's not this crystal clear, it's not a Marvel movie, you know, it's shot on film, it's very low budget, and again, it's just kind of, there are soft shots, there's overblown, you know, overlit shots, but it's all done very deliberately, and we know that for a fact because the cinematographer has contributed a new interview to this package, and he actually signed off. Here, this is the brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the original camera negative, color graded and approved by cinematographer Newton Thomas Siegel, and it's great. His feature here, it's about 15 minutes. I believe that he people should have to watch this. If you're going to criticize 4Ks on the internet, I think you need to watch the interview with the cinematographer, because he separates the men from the boys. We got a lot of armchair quarterbacks is what I'm saying. We all know, because I talk about it a lot, and I don't want to give too much of my oxygen to it, but there are a lot of people on forums who don't work in film but think that they're qualified to tell a cinematographer what he should have done differently. And when you listen to him talk about this movie, it talks about how they cross-processed the film to get a certain look. It talks about how they lit certain scenes to get a certain look. It talks about how shots were chosen. Like, he really gets into the nuts and bolts. And he says something that's interesting to me when they're talking about the disc, this new 4K release. He says that for him, so he has not watched the movie since he originally color graded it for home media. I guess it was for VHS. They turn in the finished product to the cinema screens, and then there's the VHS release in the 90s. And he would not watch it since then, because for him, the movie lives in the theater. And he's fine with home media. He sees that his kids are watching home media, but for him, movies belong in the theater, and that's what he graded his movie for. So when the cinematographer signs off on a 4K transfer with the color timing, you know that he knows what he's talking about. That also gives us clues here, because there are a lot of people who say, well, the Blu-ray was brighter, the Blu-ray was better. Well, this guy, the cinematographer, The Usual Suspects, had nothing to do with the DVD or the Blu-ray color timing. Those were done by someone else. But it's his movie. He's the guy that worked on this. He's the guy that set the shots up. He's the guy that chose the angles, that chose the scenes, that lit everything, worked with the lighting crew. It's his look. The look of the movie is his. So when we talk about, comparing 4Ks to Blu-rays, I think it's important to remember that there are things that have been done that were not the intention of the director or the cinematographer. And sometimes this is a chance to get it right again. So, I don't know. I think it's great. It's not like a, ooh, transfer. It's just solid. It's just what this movie is supposed to look like. And according to the cinematographer, it's what this movie looked like in the theater, which is the most important thing. So we got the audio commentary by Bryan Singer and the writer Christopher McQuarrie. We've got the audio commentary by the editor and composer John Ottman. There's a special feature on here with him as well, talking about, essentially, there's 5 featurettes that they're digging into the cast. They're vintage. I don't know exactly what they were made for. They're not for my Blu-ray. They were done for DVD, and I think there were a couple of different DVD editions. There was one edition, I think, that got re-released. So this stuff's been kind of compiled from lots of different sources, but we got 5 featurettes, the interview with the composer and the editor, same guy doing both things. The new interview with the cinematographer, which by the way is great. It's shot in HD. It's on the Blu-ray. The 4K is just the movie and then the 2 audio commentary tracks. Deleted scenes, interview outtakes, a gag reel, theatrical trailers, TV spots. If you love The Usual Suspects, it's time to retire that Blu-ray and upgrade to this new package, because this is the new standard. From the man that shot the movie, this is the new standard for The Usual Suspects. It's not going to get any better than this. I can't recommend it enough. This movie is amazing, and I can't say enough good things about it. It's one of the movies that continue. When I watch it, I feel refreshed. I'm reminded of the movies that made me. And they don't make movies like The Usual Suspects anymore, but maybe if enough of us ask for them to, they'll start doing it again. So that is my review for the 4K of The Usual Suspects. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can pick it up, and you'll be supporting Cereal at Midnight. What do you think about The Usual Suspects? Remember, please no spoilers, but I want to know if other people love this movie as much as I do. The last thing I'm going to say about this, because I kind of danced around it, I don't really want to talk about it, but if we suppress art based on the actions of people involved with that art, I think we're depriving ourselves. And I'm happy to continue to celebrate The Usual Suspects, because it's a wonderful film that I think everybody needs to see. And if we cancel it or if we remove it, we're removing a vital piece of our art history. By the way, if we start canceling artists, who's left? So that's all I'm going to say about it, but I do want to talk about The Usual Suspects in a non-spoiler fashion. Guys, thank you so much. Take care. Till next time, I will catch you later.